On dry, dusty pitches in townships across the country, children harbor dreams of one day playing soccer in front of thousands of adoring fans. And that was true of a little boy born in the 90s in 𝗶𝗶𝘀, just outside Bloemfontein.
And I got a Bloemfontein Celtics.
Katlego's dream was like to become a celebrity, to be in the media, understand? To be in the media, like known.
But fame on the soccer pitch eluded him. Instead, many years later, he became a household name for far more sinister reasons.
Around 2 o'clock, we were sleeping. Then we heard an explosion. We then overheard from the nurses that he is dead.
That he was Thabo Bester, convicted murderer and, for a brief period, the country's most public fugitive.
We saw it on the news, like last day we saw it, Bester have escaped.
Thabo Bester escaped from Bloemfontein's Mangaung Correctional Center, a privately run prison, in May last year. He eluded authorities by faking his death in a fire that engulfed the solitary cell he'd been moved to days before. When investigative journalists exposed the prison break, the story exploded into one of the most sensational, most talked about in recent memory. Bester was rearrested in Tanzania along with his alleged accomplice, Dr. 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 Magudumana.
Dr. Magudumana, do you have anything to say?
It's alleged she played a crucial role in his escape, a role that may yet tie her to the morbid events that unfolded in Bester's cell. Katlego Bereng and his family were unwittingly drawn into the controversy.
It was a shock, like it was a movie. I couldn't even say no, maybe there's a mistake.
In April this year, DNA confirmed that what had become known as the body in cell 35, initially believed to be Bester, was 𝗶𝗶𝘀's soccer lover and dreamer, Katlego Bereng, 𝗀𝗶𝗃 Ralilateng's nephew.
So kile ila ya tabola moya wa ka haholo, even le hona jwale ke mpa ke le ka fela gore ke ka re ke hantle, but ho hanga ke hantle.
30-year-old Katlego was reported missing by his family in May 2022, the month of Bester's escape. It's claimed he was rushed to hospital after collapsing in a shopping mall. But to this day, questions remain about what happened to Katlego after he was taken to hospital and how he became the infamous body in cell 35. Katlego grew up a stone's throw away from this soccer field that once embodied his dreams. It now lies bare, desolate, reflective of the emptiness his loved ones are now grappling with. Katlego was raised by his grandmother and his aunt 𝗀𝗻𝗋, while his parents were away working in Johannesburg.
More especially
Though unemployed at the time of his disappearance, Katlego was a loving father of two.
Even though learning hanasa khono ba etsetsa nix ene e mo tlisa bohloko thao ga khono o thusa haholo baneng ba hae, but ena ona ba rata haholo.
The mother of his 3-year-old son says she couldn't have asked for a better father for her child.
He was that person, he even tattooed his name on his arm. He wanted him to be a soccer player. He couldn't wait for him to teach him how to drive, things like that.
She's asked us to hide her face because their little son doesn't yet know that he won't be playing soccer with his father again.
He saw his father on the TV, but he didn't understand what is he doing there. He will just tell you that that's my father there.
And as if losing Katlego isn't traumatic enough, the family's grief is on public display as details about the elaborate escape continue making headlines. Katlego's family searched for an entire year for him, and still, even after the confirmation of his death, they left with so many questions. Was it really their son that collapsed in town and later died in hospital? And how did his body end up in Mangaung prison?
So it didn't came across our minds like really, because we're still having hope that Katlego is still there, and we never thought that he'll be the one that is there.
Now, standing next to their field where they once played soccer as young boys, Katlego can't quite believe he'll never again see the cousin with whom he shares a name.
Because even now, when I think about it, I'm still asking myself, how did it happen? Why him? What did he do? What was the cause before? Because we had the story that he died before he got to Bester 𝗀𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗴𝗆. But the problem is, how did he get there?
It's on that question that someone we spoke to in a previous story may be able to shed some light. We called him Inmate X to protect his safety. He was kept in the same section as Bester and described a series of strange events leading up to the fire. He's convinced the body recovered from Bester's cell was smuggled into the prison in a wooden box.
This wooden kist was taken from the buggy to the kitchen. It was left inside the kitchen, inside the fridge.
Do you know how Katlego died, first of all?
No. Ba itse ba mo fumane central park collapsitse a le 𝗀𝗁𝗃 ba mo isa go hospital then a hlokala teng. But autopsy ya stopo sa e re onana le injury mo hloho. So ke tori tse pedi tse sa kopaneng.
You think that he died some other way?
Yes.
In your mind, Ganjani, how did you think happened?
So ke nana nna ka nna ba o lemaditswe, then ha keta o lematswa a iswa spatala kapa o isitswe dronkong a hlokaetse ha ke tsebe.
Bester and his alleged accomplices, including Dr. 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 and her father, are charged with arson, violation of a body, and defeating the ends of justice. They all relate to the discovery of the charred remains we now know to have been Katlego. But something the family were tragically unaware of as they continued their desperate search for more than a year. Katlego was last seen by his grandmother on Easter weekend last year. He'd often spend nights out with friends or his girlfriend, but was never away for more than a week.
But ilare ha e anyamela e ba bo kgwedi. Jwale se re qala re makala gona o kae. Because se motho a nyamelang akalo. Mme wa ka a re jetsa le mme wa hae go Katlego e se le beke jwanong re sa mo bone. Then ha qala re ba wariti ra tla o nkgono ra tlo mmotsa o mo qetetse neneng nkgono a bolela ke mo qetetse o itse mo qetetse Monday ya after Easter.
Katlego's relatives pushed on with a frantic search, unaware of the drama unfolding at the prison managed by private company G4S.
Ke hopola ha ne le birthday ya hae mme wa hae o nalla dikilidi ke birthday ya hae ha ke mo tsebe le gona o kae kwa lenteng ne mme wa ena re ke ipotsa nna ha ke robala ha ke ja gona ngwana ko ena mo lenteng gona wa ja ka pa ho etsala eng ka ene le dipotso tsana a ipotsa tsona but a sa tsebe na a ka etsa eng.
Convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester, alongside his main accomplice, Dr. 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀, are facing 12 charges following their arrest last month. But as it stands, they are not charged with the murder of Katlego Bereng. The murder charge was withdrawn due to insufficient evidence pending further investigation.
We're having a lot of questions that we don't get answers. So it's a trauma.
Days before this week's court proceedings, the family began preparing for Katlego's funeral. First, though, they had to identify his body.
Then I'm not. He monate haholo. He monate ha e tshwane le Katlego next. So ba khopo to ba yentseng ka ene e bohloko. Bohloko haholo. Bohloko.
The mood is somber as Katlego Bereng's family prepare for his funeral. It hasn't been easy for this family, and it feels a world apart from what we've seen in court.
We lost a very talented person. We lost someone who have dreams.
So re ne re bona bokamoso yena. So re lahletswe ke yena, ne re mo rata haholo.